All right, good morning. We are going to do our quarter two Valley market update or recap on what's happened so far in the real estate market here for the second quarter. So thank you for joining me. Excited to walk through this. Now, the whole goal here is to take a look at what are the numbers actually showing, what's going on in the marketplace, not just what am I feeling, not just what's happening in the news. And so thank you for watching this. And of course, if you want the whole slide deck, just send me a message or comment slide deck in the chat bar and I can send this to you. All right, so here's what's going on. We're going to take a look at the four different market areas. We're going to look at residential, we're going to look at multifamily, we're going to look at condo, and we're going to look at land and say, hey, here's what's going on so far this year. Okay. And then most importantly, what action will this cause me to take? So if you're a buyer watching this, what action will this cause me to take? If you're a seller watching this, what action will this cause me to take? And if you work in the industry, what action will this cause me to take? Okay. So first, we're going to take a look at residential. Now we look back 5 years so we can see a trend like, hey, what's going on? Is this normal? What do we have to expect here? So on the left, you can see total volume closed year to date. So we're right about flat with last year, 350 million sold so far. And so you can see we're barely ahead of what we did last year. Okay. Now, and last year was a big jump from the year before, and we're trying to get back to some of those 2021, 2022 numbers, right? Okay, units sold, 774 units sold, so down a couple percent. And then the average sales price is 453. So that's average in the whole valley. All residential homes sold, average price is 450. Okay, so you can see how much it's gone up since 2022, where average price was 386. So if you've been sitting around waiting, home prices have been going up. And if you bought a home, congratulations, home prices have been going up. Okay, so that's the first look. Now we take a look at the number of active listings so we can see, hey, is there a trend? Are we having more and more properties hit the market? And if you're in the market, you've experienced this, you understand this. There are more properties on the market right now, which is great. In fact, we have a high of 575 homes on the market for active listings. And you can see every year we have this big run up of new listings hitting the market and then a decline as winter kicks on. So we're exactly the same this year. The only difference, and maybe you felt this if you're in the market, is that there's been it was a very aggressive run up. And so listings, if you price it correctly, it's moving. If you're not, there's a lot of listings sitting on the market right now because they priced based on yesterday's data. They priced based on last month's data rather than what's going on today. Months of inventory, this gives us a good measure. Are we in a seller's market? Are we in a buyer's market? Anything below 6 months of inventory is a seller's market, and we're firmly below that. You can see the highest that we have been is almost 5 months in January, but right now we're at 2.76 months of inventory. So this is really healthy seller's market. Days on market, you can see this is really low right now. And so we're under 10 days on the market for properties that are accepting an offer. Okay. So if you're going to get an offer, it's usually in the first 2 weeks, and that's very true right now. Sales to list price, what's the negotiating power look like? So we're almost at 100%. It's a 99.9% right now. So the best listings are asking a good price, getting a great offer, and moving forward. There's not a lot of negotiation room there. So summary for residential, units are down slightly, volume is barely up, average sales price is up, and then there's the other data that we just went through. So we're going to do the same exact thing for condo, and condo is always interesting in the valley. So if you look at this, 4.3 million is sold so far this year in condos. That's 80% increase over last year. 14 condos have sold, 75% increase over last year, and average price is 308. So condos, they're always interesting to look at the data for the valley just because there's so few of them that sell. So you can see number of listings, active listings. We had a low of 3 in May, and looks like we've got some more new condo listings hitting the market later here this summer. Months of inventory, again, really fragmented. Days on the market, pretty low days on the market. Sales to list price is all over the place, but up above the 100%. A lot of these are going to be new construction condos that are sold. So you can see volume is up, units are up, average sales price is up for the data there. Okay, the next thing we want to look at is new construction. What kind of homes are being built? And again, these are just the ones that have closed on the MLS, and so we only have a certain amount of data, but we can see that a majority of the homes that are being built are three bedrooms. So 90 of these homes are three bedroom, 37 are four bedroom, five or five bedroom and up. Okay, average list price for all of them is 504, and there's been 145 of these properties built. So that's so far this year that have been built and sold. Now, you drive around, you're going to see a lot of properties under construction right now. I know the builders are busy making it happen. And so we'll see this number jump significantly as time goes on, but this is what it looks like right now. And so we always look to see just correlation between Anchorage and the Valley. Anchorage is the blue, the Valley is red. Last year, the Valley had a pretty big jump towards the end of the year to 364 closed new construction listings, which was a almost a record. And this year so far, we're at 145. So I'll be curious to see how many more come online and get sold here as time goes. Okay, let's take a look at land. Land, 34 million in volume sold, so 5% increase over last year. So this is really healthy, especially after last year's 50% increase over the year before. Units are a different story. You know, a lot of this increase comes from the average sales price being so high. Units were down about 10%, so only 311 pieces of property have sold this year. But because their average sales price is 110, it has that increase for us. So number of listings, you can see we're relatively consistent basically since 2021 in the number of listings. Months of inventory, we're right below 10 months of inventory, which is really good for land. And it is interesting that land is moving so quickly here. Days on the market for property that's sold is, let's see exactly what it is. So we have pretty low days on the market here. 11 was the lowest so far this year, 11 days on the market as a median for land in the whole valley. Sales to list price, are people getting what they're asking? And the answer is yes, they're getting about 100% of their asking price. And so we can see the summary for land, slight decrease in units, slight decrease in volume, but the sales price is up about 5%. There's about a high of 600 properties to look at. Not a huge backlog of inventory, and days on the market are fairly low here. All right. The last one we want to look at for the valley is multifamily. So this is anything duplex on up. And so we can see so far this year, 30 million has sold in multifamily. So it's down about 11% compared to last year. 44 units, down 20%, and average sales price right at 700,000, 698. So this is one you can see that the average price point has just gone up, 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 up. This is a combination of fourplexes going up in value and new construction duplexes hitting the market. Okay. So if you have one of these and you've thought about selling it in the past and thought, it's not worth as much as I think, it would be worth checking out because chances are it's gone up quite a bit in value in the last couple of years. Okay, number of listings. So again, we want to look at this to see like how many listings are on the market, how many are there to choose from. And so there was, let's see, just over 40 active listings to look at here in June. And so that's good to look at. If you were looking for fourplexes the other day, there was, I think, 14 of them available. So not a lot to choose from here. Months of inventory, this is right around 5 months. And so this is really healthy and good. Days on the market, this is a little bit all over the place. And so when we look at days on the market, we can see that right now we're right in the maybe about 75 days on the market for properties that are accepting an offer. And so a lot of these are new construction. And so you'll see that reflected there. And then sales to list price right about 100% as well. So multifamily summary, units are down, volumes down, average sales price is up quite a bit. So if we zoom out and we take a look at the whole entire valley, we can see right now in this moment in time, unit sales are down, but there's still strong buyer demand out there. Home prices are steady or they're rising. There's more and more inventory, but it's still relatively tight. Well-priced and well-marketed homes are selling quickly. And then there's still opportunity for both buyers and sellers here. So the action items, buyers get pre-approved and be ready to act. So many times a buyer sees a home that they love, but then somebody else buys it before they have a chance to because they weren't ready. So get pre-approved, get ready to act. Sellers, make sure you're pricing based on today's data, not yesterday, not last week, not a month ago, but today's data. What are the other properties that are on the market that are active competition for you? Trust local data, not just national headlines. Focus on what you can control. So that's timing, pricing, and preparation. And then the last one, and this is really important, but work with somebody who lives in your area, who does this full time and are ready to maximize your results. All right, so that's the Valley Market update today. Hopefully, this was helpful. If you'd like the full slide deck, again, just go ahead and ask, and we'd be happy to share that with you. All right, thanks.